Listen, did nobody ask, did nobody check him for no steroid? I said, he had quick hands, he was hit. I said, why y'all ain't checking for steroid? He ain't checking steroid. And then...
You think he was on steroids?
Of course he was on steroids.
What we don't talk about is, Canelo. Steroids.
Responsible for the performance-enhancing drugs that are being used by fighters that fought in his gym. Specifically, off the top of my head, you have Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez had popped for clenbuterol.
Canelo Alvarez accused of steroids again. Evander Holyfield, Floyd Mayweather, and even Joe Rogan are weighing in. And with the Terence Crawford fight just weeks away, this could change everything. This is big. Boxing legend Evander Holyfield has lit a fire under the sport by hinting that Canelo Alvarez might be using steroids ahead of his mega fight with Terence Crawford. His bold words have set off a wave of debate, adding fuel to an already intense rivalry.
Greatest Mexican boxing fights of all time, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm 100% confident in myself. If Canelo was 100% confident in himself, I don't know why he wouldn't fight me. Especially since, seeing that everybody in his team is on steroids, which means including him, so he never got off.
You think he's on steroids?
Of cour's. Sure. How does five?
You saw De La Hoya.
How do five people out of your camp get tested positive for steroids?
Right.
You know what I mean? No, all those fucking dudes in that camp are dirty.
Yeah.
Holyfield stopped short of making a direct accusation, but reminded fans of Canelo's 2018 positive test for clenbuterol. Back then, Holyfield even said fighters caught using Pez should spend 30 days in jail, a punishment he believes would clean up the sport.
Alvarez failed a drug test before his big Triple G fight in May, and he's blaming Mexican cows. All right, here's the deal. 2 months until the rematch with Gennady Golovkin on May 5th is going to be the big fight, and he's been taking drug tests leading up to the fight, standard operating procedure. This time he popped for a substance called clenbuterol, which is a banned substance. As a matter of fact, it helps you cut weight. A lot of people use it illegally, cut weight while maintaining muscle mass. He is saying he did not cheat. He's not a cheater. I did not intentionally take clenbuterol. Problem is, I've been training in Mexico and eating contaminated cow beef. That's what he's saying. There's a problem apparently in Mexico where some of the cattle are being injected with clenbuterol, which helps cows. It's illegal in the United States, but some places outside the United States, even some places in the United States, will use clenbuterol to grow bigger cows, to up the protein content in the meat. And he's saying that what he had was contaminated meat because his training center is in Mexico and there's a problem with Mexican meat down there. He even issued a statement saying, quote, "I'm an athlete who respects the sport and this surprises me and bothers me because it had never happened to me. I will submit to all the tests that require me to clarify this embarrassing situation, and I trust in the end, the truth will prevail." So far, the fight with Gennady Golovkin is still on. He's still dead set on making that fight.
Then there's David Benavidez, who's gone all in, accusing Canelo's entire team of steroid use. He's even questioned why Canelo avoids fighting him, suggesting it's because of multiple failed tests in Canelo's camp.
But what we don't talk about is, Canelo. Steroids. Y'all don't talk about that. So we don't know. We really don't know all the fighters he beat. He could have been not clean in a lot of fights. Canelo, and the list goes on and on about athletes that's been cheating.
Been accused of cheating or been proven?
No, been proven too.
This been proven.
Yeah.
Oh, Canelo. Oh shit, I didn't know.
This been proven.
Lance Armstrong.
Okay.
And then Canelo talking about it was the steak that it was the meat that he was eating. So okay, now you eating. I guess you're eating steroid cows.
Eddie Reynoso's gym, where Canelo trains, has faced constant doping allegations. Several fighters from his camp have tested positive for banned substances, raising serious questions about the training environment and oversight.
When the greatest Canelo came out, the one that you guys seen that fought Triple G the first time, bro, dude popped dirty for clenbuterol, bro. Why do you think the second fight didn't happen? So for me, seeing that was the best Canelo I've ever seen. But that was Canelo off steroids. Everybody else that he fought Amir Khan, he fought Daniel Jacobs, he fought, what the f is his name? Billy Joe Saunders, Caleb Plant. These guys are all weak, bro. So for me, that's why I feel like I see Canelo Alvarez and I see like, he's not as good as everybody thinks. Because the best one that fought Golovkin that first time was off clenbuterol. That was the best Canelo I've ever seen, and that's why he looked so good, because he was off clenbuterol. So what the Canelo, he even got suspended for like 7 months.
So it's guaranteed he was
guaranteed he took it. He said that he ate meat that was tainted in Mexico.
Now, let me ask you that question.
I've talked to people. They said for him And to test positive off a piece of meat, he would have had to eat the whole.
Addressed serious accusations about his gym. And the accusations are that people, or at least the implications are, that he is the one that is providing performance-enhancing drugs or is in some way responsible for the performance-enhancing drugs that are being used by fighters that fought in his gym. Specifically, off the top of my head, you have Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez had popped for clenbuterol 2 times. For Fahim Satur, I'll say that he did it 2 times, even though I think it was for the same fight. But Canelo Alvarez popped dirty for clenbuterol 2 times. You have Luis Nery, who had tested positive, but I think Luis Nery tested positive before he was with Eddie Reynoso. Then you have Ryan Garcia, who popped dirty after he left Eddie Reynoso and went over to Derek James. And then you have Oscar Valdez. Oscar Valdez popped dirty while he was with Eddie Reynoso, but at the time he was still allowed to fight. You also clearly see that you have an issue with the fight that's coming up with Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, in that you have one guy that tested positive and you have another guy that looks like he's using in order to get up and continue to climb up weight classes. You know, at a certain point in time, and this is something that Rolly Romero has said, certain point in time your body just doesn't do that. At a certain point in time, your body just doesn't do it. I'm 6'2", 200, and should weigh about 210. Closer to 250, but I should weigh about 210. I'm not gonna get up. If I was 210 now at 50 years old.
Many analysts have pointed out that building so much muscle naturally in your 30s is tough. Yet Canelo's recent transformation, looking bigger and stronger than ever, has only added to the suspicion, especially given his gym's history.
Muscle as if I'm juicing. If for a 30-year-old, right, you remember, your body grows, men's body can grow in height and length up until to the extreme in your 20s. By the time you're 20, your height and all that stuff is there, right? Your height and your length. In your mid-20s, you know, by the time you're 29, your musculature is pretty much there. It gets harder to gain and put on muscle after 30.
On the Joe Rogan Experience, Rogan discussed Canelo's past failed test and the ongoing debates about his physique. He stressed that transparency is crucial to protect boxing's integrity. The topic blew up even more as the Crawford fight approaches.
What up, everybody? It's your boy MC from MCTV. I wouldn't be surprised if Canelo Alvarez is on steroids right now as we speak and is going to be fully juiced with something that hasn't even hit the market yet. Think about it, he's pretty much a billionaire. He has access to everything.
For some fans, these accusations aren't shocking. They see them as part of a pattern, pointing back to Canelo's previous suspension and saying this feels amid the chaos. Holyfield has been praising Terence Crawford's unique skills, his power, speed, and ability to switch from orthodox to southpaw with ease.
Going left-handed and right-handed, how do you deal with someone like that?
Well, I don't know. Did nobody switch up on me a lot, so it's hard for me to say. But I know life is about adjustment. You have to make adjustment. To be successful, adjustment is always gonna be the difference between how far you gonna go.
And this is the last one because I just thought of something. Obviously, Fury Usyk, a lot of people are talking about for undisputed. You were a smaller guy and you almost beat, a lot of people thought you beat Nikolai Valuev, who's even taller. Even taller than Tyson Fury. How does the small guy Usyk defeat a tall guy like Tyson Fury?
He says this adaptability makes Crawford unpredictable and a nightmare for opponents. Crawford's trainer, Brian Bomack McIntyre, says their fight prep is flawless. He believes Crawford's adaptability will be key in overcoming Canelo's size and power advantage.
I'm confident that he's going to get the victory. Second of all, I'm just happy for him and the team. So the world can see once again why he considered the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world.
There was many a time where he was maybe struggling to get certain fights, and then he had to almost kick that door down. Is it nice to see him sort of getting the fruits of his labour now and getting that generational wealth off the back of what is obviously it's a hard career boxing. You don't get given anything.
Definitely that. Definitely good to see him get, like you say, fruits of as well. Get me fights that, again, will show the world why he's the best fighter in the world. Show the world why he's the best fighter in the world. I'm just happy for him, man.
Canelo, because it's a fight that most of the people don't give Crawford a chance because of the size, but he's got skills, man. He's got skills. He's got good speed, good footwork. That's why I do give him a chance.
You do give?
I do give Crawford a chance, of course. Canelo's last few fights, he does his work. He gets work done, but never does that little extra to please or to. He knows he doesn't need to anymore, so he's just comfortable enough with just securing the win.
You don't like it?
He became a businessman, and I think that could be something in favor of.
They've been training with bigger fighters to simulate the challenge. Even Muhammad Ali's grandson, Nico Ali Walsh, says Crawford is ready for the pressure. But with all these doping rumors swirling, one question remains: is Canelo's power all natural, or is there something more behind it?